Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at 5 ways to use technology to support our mindfulness practice and our well-being. This is a channel where you can learn the ins and outs of mindfulness practice, get tips and tricks on meditation, and regardless of your level, where you can meditate with me. So 2 weeks ago, I did a video on the documentary film, The Social Dilemma, which is a film that dives into social media, modern technology, and specifically how those things are designed to distract us as much as possible. And one thing that we have to start examining as we deepen our mindfulness practice is, how are the things that we're doing when we're not meditating affecting our meditation and our lives in general? Because we don't want to just have the approach that we learn during meditation practice just to be limited to those 5 minutes or 2 minutes or half an hour or however long it might be in your day. We want to start to change our perspective to become something that's more comprehensive and that encompasses larger parts of our lives. So without further ado, let's dive into 5 tips of how we can use technology better to better support ourselves in this task. So the first is to turn off all notifications that aren't truly necessary. Now this is a personal choice and a personal decision, but go through your phone and see, all of these bings and tings and flashes and, all these things that are constantly going on in our devices. Are they all truly necessary? Are any of them necessary? Probably some of them are, but I would say maybe the vast majority of them are not. So, try it, experiment, see if you can turn off certain sets of notifications, certain apps off completely, and see how you feel and see how that affects you. It's one thing to be maybe in the moment with someone at a dinner or at a coffee and have your phone light up when it's something that truly needs your attention. But if that same phone is constantly binging and tinging and beeping, it's going to pull you away from that conversation. It's going to pull you away from that interaction with that person or whatever it is you might be doing and trying to focus on. And again, based on the idea of mindfulness, which is focusing on one thing wholeheartedly and single-heartedly, that the more we have things pulling us away, the less our power of mindfulness is going to be. The second thing is, do we really need our phone for any specific task? When smartphones came out, I was excited because it was like, oh, everything can fit on this device. My alarm clocks, my calls, my texts, my internet searching, everything. But as time has gone by, I've seen that in a lot of ways is a detriment, because I'm sort of dependent on this one device for everything. So 2 things that I'm working on with my phone is not using my phone as an alarm clock, and number 2, not using my phone as a timer when I'm in the gym, and also as sort of a notebook to keep track of my workouts and my progress and that sort of thing. So again, a personal question, but do you need your phone to take a walk in the park? Do you need your phone to go get groceries? Maybe you do, I'm not sure. And maybe you do certain days and maybe you don't other days. But it's just a great question to start asking ourselves is, do I need this device right now? Or is it just gonna kind of pull me away and distract me in some way? So I think it's a great question to start asking ourselves. Building on that, point 3 is to actually start building time away from your phone completely. Sort of whether you need it or not, maybe it's just an hour in a day, maybe it's an entire day on the weekend. Again, all of these suggestions are very personal, but I think really powerful tools that we can begin to use, especially if we put some thought into them. So this idea of taking a phone break, or sometimes people call it a phone detox, whatever word works for you, but scheduling specific times to say, you know what, I'm not going to look at this device. And again, just from a personal perspective, I was doing it a few weeks ago, but I got pulled in again to a bad habit. But when I'm writing emails or when I'm working on a project, putting my phone in a separate room, just keeping it away from me. And it might not be a specified time, because I'm just going to be working until I'm done on this specific task. But there is this sort of idea of, for this period, I'm not gonna be touching my phone. And the amount of productivity that I can achieve is so much higher. And more importantly, the amount of like peace I feel is way higher. Because there's not this sort of constant anxiety of maybe looking at my phone and knowing that I shouldn't be doing that because I should be working. And it's just a much more pleasant situation in my experience. So give it a shot. Number 4 is to have a specific time before bed when we're not touching our device and we're not looking at our device. And this is for a lot of reasons. It's a way that we can connect with what happened in our day, connect with the others that we might live with, our family, our roommates, our friends, and just do something other than be glued to our device. Another thing that it does is that it allows our brain to unplug, and it allows our brain to start to approach kind of more of a sleep state. Not being constantly stimulated, not being bombarded with colors and sounds and all kinds of interactions that we might have on our phone. And we will probably find that we'll have a much more restful sleep. Maybe not at first, because it's not something that we're used to, but in time that it will deepen our ability to rest and to recuperate and to be ready for the next day. And lastly, point 5 is to sleep with our phone in a different room. So put your phone somewhere where you're not sleeping. And again, kind of building on, I think it was point 2, where you're gonna need an alarm clock if you need to wake up or whatever, but investing in something like that and getting your phone away from your sleep space. I heard of a study where people who slept with their phone in a different room slept on average 20 minutes longer, which, it's not that long, but if we're needing sleep and if we're, not resting enough, then 20 minutes can really make a big difference. The other thing is the quality of our sleep is going to be much more different because energetically our body can feel this this device, this presence of what it is that we're constantly putting our energy, which can bring a lot of anxiety, which can bring a lot of joy, but basically regardless of it, whether it's a more positive or a more negative emotion, where it's just a lot of stimulation. And we want to be not stimulated at night. We want to be resting, and we want to be going into as deep of a sleep and as restful a sleep as possible. So there you have it, guys. Those are 5 tips on what we can do to increase our mindfulness around meditation, and really just to increase our well-being and our happiness, because the more we're distracted, the more they found that the more unhappy we are, the more unfocused we are, and the more depressed we can become. So let's work to combat those things in simple ways, and that can make a huge difference. So that said, if you have any questions, if you have any other suggestions, I'm sure there's tons of other suggestions that we can talk about, but go ahead and put them in the comments below. If this was a helpful video to you, please share it, and working to build a channel, so if you'd like to subscribe and comment and like, I would really like that, appreciate that. And that said, since this is what we do on the channel, we'll just meditate for 1 minute. If this is your first time meditating, go ahead and just find a comfortable posture for you. Just sit upright. And even if you're not sitting, maybe if you're in your kitchen or somewhere, that you can just take a moment to feel your body. Just allow the muscles in your face and your chest to relax. And as you notice that relaxation, just starting to focus on your breath. Just noticing the quality of your breath. And just taking one more breath here. So thanks so much, guys, for meditating with me and watching the video till the end, and I will see you in the next video.